So the recent Pokemon Unite episode got me thinking back to the old one-off competitions that we used to get in the Pokemon anime. Who remembers Pokemon Sumo or the Extreme Pokemon Race? There were so many cool and unique competitions that we got that made the Pokemon world feel more lived in and more exciting, and by far the best one that they gave us was PokéRinger. PokéRinger was first introduced in the Advanced Generation, just a random one-off episode. They wanted a explosive way to evolve Ash's Taillow, so they came up with this whole event, a special flying type tournament where you have 4 flying Pokemon competing to win this tiny ring and score a goal with it. It was simple but effective. We had this youngster Shane who lived locally. He loved PokéRinger, he knew how to study the winds and knew the tactics. But even more so was James. Out of nowhere we learned that James is a goddamn genius at this sport. Apparently he had an old master who was one of the best around, and he taught James everything he knows. And it was just so cool to see James take on this role and be so serious about it, while the other members of Team Rocket were just trying to steal all the Pokemon. And then you have this infamous dude Volt who has a Volbeat. He was last year's champion, and this just sets the stage so well. It feels like there's history to this competition already, even though we've only just been introduced to it. There was some great action with Ash, of course, getting to take down the former champion Volt, using Taillow, who has already been set up in Hoenn to be known to withstand electric type attacks, and is known for his endurance and ability to just hang in there. So coming up against Volt, who likes to just shock all of the other flying types out of the sky, it wasn't enough, and Ash manages to cause a big upset by taking down the former champ, which was awesome. May, however, doesn't fare as well, as she tries to be audacious, using Gust to try and sway everyone from the ring, but James, being the specialist, sees through this and uses her distraction to grab the ring himself, making May look like a fool. But it was pretty hilarious. I love how James is just so cocky and smug. He knows he's the GOAT at this. And James continues his winning spree against Shane in the semis, where he tells Dustox to just stop, to everyone's shock, but he knows that the sun is about to shine through the clouds, distracting Swablu and opening up the way for Dustox to swoop in. He knows exactly what he's doing, calmly watching the weather as it changes and assessing the situation. Can we get a whole damn series of James and his PokéRinger adventures? So it's Ash and James in the final, Taillow going up against Dustox, and being a final match, we need some drama, and we get a bloody flash tornado pop up in the middle of the arena. So Taillow and Dustox are on a bit of a standoff. James will wait patiently and bide his time for it to clear, but not our boy Ash. This madman tells Taillow to dive straight into the heart of the tornado. He knows that Taillow can withstand it, and we get one of the most epic evolution moments as Taillow evolves into the best bird, Swellow, to withstand the intensity of this tornado. It is peak. James still fights back and manages to knock the ring loose, and it is a race to the finish. But of course Ash has one last trick up his sleeve. Quick attack, aim it directly at the ring to score the goal. What a great way to win this competition. And this is why we love PokéRinger. The action is just so good. We got a great evolution moment showing the determination of Ash and Swellow, with Ash winning the whole damn thing. And this is just the first PokéRinger episode we got. We all thought this might be a one-off thing, but it's so cool they decided to bring it back for Sinnoh. I think it's over 200 episodes later in the franchise we get the return of this iconic tournament. Everyone loves it, and everyone wants to see it again. But this time we have even higher stakes, as Ash's most intense and best rival so far is competing in it as well. We've got Paul. Of course James is there too, as he would never miss out on this. There's so many similarities from the Hoenn one and this one. They just copied that episode beat for beat. Honestly, I have no complaints because it's just as good the second time. But there is a few different things. This time, rather than Ash, Paul goes up against the former 4-time champion who has a damn Dragonite. So a bit trickier than a Volbeat, let's be honest. Paul enters to raise the power of his Honchkrow. Paul somehow just humiliates this guy, dodging most of Dragonite's attacks and then even knocking Dragonite out before even bothering to put the ring in. Paul showing why he is so fearless and showing that he can adapt as he notices the changes in the wind, despite being his first ever PokéRinger contest. Cocky James returns as well as he enters the competition with Jesse's Yanmega, and this guy is a menace. He literally insults this poor kid Skiploom off the bat.
You would have the magnificent Mr. James battle the Skiploom, how dare you!
How dare he send a Skiploom against James. But different to last time, James actually loses. he wrongly predicts the wind and gets outsmarted by the very same Skiploom that he mocked. He had it coming. His excuse was that the Sinnoh winds blow a little differently. I do wish we got more of the expert James in this one, just like Hoenn, as it was just funny seeing him so cocky and actually being able to back it up. But him being outsmarted by this kid was still pretty good. Of course, it was all being set up for Ash and Paul to clash in the finals. This is where rivalries are at their best, when they're put in these situations, like the tag battle tournament, working together and now competing against each other here. They are constantly striving for victory but always standing in each other's way. And this final battle was really less about the weather, the wind, and more about brute power. Both of them just slugging away at each other, Ash even proving in this one battle that encouragement can help you win, as he spurs on Staravia and it evolves into Staraptor, just like the last one. Another great evolution moment, and then one last clash and the ring goes flying, and once again Ash has to punt it home to the goal exactly the same as Swellow and Hoenn. I do think I preferred the Hoenn final, although Sinnoh has the pull factor. I thought the use of the winds and the flash tornado showing up just made it a bit more epic, especially with Ash commanding Swellow to dive into the tornado. It was just more flashy of an evolution moment, whereas this one was probably a better battle, but less focused on the aspects of PokéRinger itself. It was more so these two rivals just trying to beat one another. But both were fantastic, and I loved that Ash actually got to beat Paul here, as he hasn't beat Paul ever at this point. So this was a way of giving him a win, but not in an official battle, but it still kind of counts. Paul, sore loser, walks away without even saying a word to Ash, just tells Honchkrow that he wasn't good enough, and Ash goes 2 for 2 at PokéRinger. What a guy. But just how good is PokéRinger? A fantastic anime-only idea that we only saw in 2 episodes, but they made such an impact that myself and many fans remember them so fondly. I really wish PokéRinger made a return or stuck around. It would have been absolutely perfect for it to return again in X and Y, where the region has a lot of focus on flying types and air battles. We could have done a 3-peat where Fletchinder evolves into Talonflame during a PokéRinger event. But I'm not complaining, as we did get an epic evolution where he was battling Moltres, so maybe that was better. But which one was your favourite? Did you prefer the debut of PokéRinger in Hoenn, or the focus on Ash and Paul in Sinnoh? And would you like to see the return of PokéRinger?
Good, Talo! Head straight for that goal!